Magandang gabi mga kabayan at kabano. Ako po si 𝗏𝗏 live from Makati City, and this Sunday we're of course talking about your Q&As for me that have come in over the last week or two sa mga bagong releases natin dito sa 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗀 Cooking channel. Of course guys, if you haven't already subscribed, please hit the button below and turn on that little bell thing so you get the notification. So pag may bagong release, kunin mo yun ha. Like it's gonna come straight to your email box or in that little notification section para maalam nyo kung may mga bago. Now today I'm taking a bunch of your Q&As, so we might just go straight into it. My first one today comes from 𝗶𝗶𝗀 Duran, and Polly writes, that's why the #1 Pinoy sickness is either diabetes or kidney failure due to overeating too much sweet and salty foods. And he was writing this in reference to my top 5 weird Filipino food combinations. That video is still trending actually on YouTube, and he's writing about, I think that must be a reference to one of the food combinations we were talking about was French fries with the ice cream sundae that you get at the fast food joint. So it's a sweet and a salty combination. I'm sure it's too much sugar. I'm sure it's too much salt. It's definitely too much bad oils and fats in the food. And yeah, this is really probably the trajectory that the Philippines is on as it develops. So well spotted. It's very obvious that this is now happening in the Philippines. And as a consumer, it's up to you to decide what you're going to eat. And if you go to McDonald's every day or fast food every day, then you're probably going to end up obese. And if you don't, and if you make choices to eat vegetables, or even kung you have something bad on your plate, make sure you have something good on your plate too. And that's really what we're advocating, is everything in moderation. So, all right, good question. 𝗵𝗶𝗃 writes, you should start a resto business. So thank you, Louis. A lot of people asking me about this, whether Urbano 𝗵𝗶𝗃 Cooking is going to start a restaurant. What I can say is that next year we're probably going to look at a very small operation, probably like household, like residential kind of place with maybe just 12 seats, and looking at doing some Australian food, actually, particularly rating the Australian brunch category. So that's sort of what I have in the pipeline, but we may actually have something coming soon. It may or may not be open to the public. It may be on sort of inside another business, but we'll see. And of course, you guys will be the first to know. I would want the entire place filled with kabanos if we do go and open a restaurant. So I'll keep in touch with you about that. Next one is 𝗍𝗵𝗿𝗍𝗍, who writes, you should add 𝗍𝗴𝗏𝗏 to your mango shake for more fun. What? No booze in the mango shake? Yeah, I didn't do it right. So clearly a reference to my mango shake video. Look, I wasn't going for the alcoholic mango shake. I was going for the wholesome, wake up, have a healthy breakfast shake kind of shake. And I should also note that that recipe was going into my cookbook, which is coming out next year. And you can email me at chris@𝗵𝗶𝗃cooking.com if you want to advance reserve a copy. You know, that book, I can't really have a tequila in my mango shake in the book. So yeah, great suggestion. I will probably try that personally and then like go get some junk food, but I'm probably going to leave it off the official recipe, if you know what I mean. But thanks for the tip. Why not use a blender that has a pitcher? That's so inconvenient. So I think he's referencing the fact that I used an immersion blender in my mango shake video. With this show though, right, so blenders cost money and it's another appliance in your kitchen. So in my kitchen, I actually tried to have almost no appliances. Like I think the bare minimum you can get by with. If you have a stick or immersion blender, you can do 80% of the things that a food processor or a blender can do with just one device. So it's always been my favorite appliance is the stick immersion blender. And I literally do everything. And I know that with a jug, but cleaning wise, it's just the easiest. Like you just drop off the blender attachment and you rinse it and you're done. Whereas I just find blenders are like more work on cleaning. But yes, a blender obviously would be more convenient. I love my country writes, 𝗵𝗶𝗃 akin ka na lang please, which I think is saying to me, guapo as in you, referring to me as guapo. So firstly, thank you for not saying pangit. 𝗵𝗃𝗃 akin ka na lang please, like come to me only, please guapo. Sounds like something my wife would say to me, actually. She'll love that comment. So thanks for that. I always appreciate those kind of comments. I try to do my best to look good on your camera, go to the gym regularly. So glad you noticed. Thank you. Maraming salamat, kabano. And next we have Nino Alexmer Frondoso, who wrote in, haha, relate na relate ako dito. Lalo na yung pag nagtatanong ka kung saan tayo kakain. Inaunahan ko, nakausap ko na sasakalian ko siya. Pag sinagot niya, ako nang ikaw bahala. So we're talking about that thing where Filipinos have this habit. So kung halimbawa you ask them where they want to eat and they're just gonna say back to you, oh, ikaw bahala. And I'm like, okay, but if nobody is bahala, then who is bahala? Like somebody actually has to make a decision or we're just gonna slowly get hungry. It really happens here in the Philippines. I'm not making this stuff up. Next, Christian Albert Tolentino writes, are you gay, Kuya Chris? Lol. No. Lol. So the answer is no. I have a wife and 2 lovely boys. Sorry to disappoint and break a few hearts out there, but obviously I love the 𝗵𝗶𝗃 Cooking gay audience. Shout out to you guys. I'd appreciate the support. I always feel very flattered when you guys write and tell me I'm pogi or something. So maraming salamat sa suporta nyo. Next question. I suggest that you should make videos on how to eat some Filipino dishes. At least you've been here for a long enough time and have the knowledge of the Filipino cuisine. Some foreigners don't eat our food properly, and that's why some of them don't like our food. Like when eating balot, we know that balot should be eaten with salt and vinegar. Or when eating halo-halo, you should mix the ingredients. Yeah, so this reminds me a bit of like those foreigners who came to the Philippines and they rubbished Pinoy food. Like, I'd rather go hungry than eat Filipino food again, which was just such a attention-seeking clickbait title anyway. But they went out and they really just walked into a 7-Eleven, bought a hot dog, and then said they'd tried Filipino food. I think it was really sad. The thing that was sad about that was that I just think that they didn't experience Filipino food at all, and then pretended that they had some authority to actually comment about it when they just really never tasted it. So yeah, sure, we might look at some videos where we look at some of the more complex Philippine dishes about how to actually eat those properly. All right, next one comes from Jonathan Brillantes, who says, "Hi, how are you? I'm a philo, not in the Mediterranean pastry dough way, but it's in a Filipino." Yes, well done. Always love a good pun, kabano. Good on you. I'm living in Melbourne, Australia. I enjoy heaps the regular video clips from my Puting Cooking Facebook page. In fact, I've set your post to see first. Yes, thank you. Everybody, if you haven't already clicked see first in the notifications, please do, so you don't miss any more of our videos. Thanks for the awesome work promoting Filipino cuisine to the world. Hi, I'm writing to you about my problem buying meat in Australia, specifically for nilagang baka and adobo. I can't seem to get the right ones at Woolies and Coles. I want to try the local butcher but don't know what to ask for, and I usually make a long distance call to my mum. She tells me, but unfortunately can't translate them to Aussie English. Can you help? Thanks in advance. It does make it hard when you're overseas to get the right cuts, and I guess that's where you need to sort of read recipes and look where it's specified the size of the meats and the type of cut in a more, I guess, universal language. So you kind of need to just educate yourself a bit on the major cuts. What I would say in general is that the Philippines, most of these dishes are probably more known for slow cook cuts as opposed to sirloin, tenderloin, Scotch fillet, ribeye. You'll find in Filipino cooking it's more like the hacked up ribs. So even I don't know all of the Filipino names for the different cuts. You need to work out what the cuts are and then what you should generally use. But the rule of thumb is that if you're doing anything that has like a long stewing time, like a slow cooking dish, you would use something that has like a lot of connectivity tissue that benefits from slow cooking. So that could be some meat on bone, like ribs or brisket or something like that. So nilagang baka for me, I actually always use a combination of beef rib and brisket. Whereas if I'm making something like caldereta, I'll usually use rump cubes. If I'm making like Bicol Express, that's normally going to be 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗶 or pork belly that's been chopped into strips. Nothing I can really say aside from keep watching the show and you'll learn it over time. And then when you do speak to your butcher, you probably want to go to a place where they're open to like customizing it a bit. And if you say, okay, I need rump steak cut into 2-inch cubes, they're going to do that for you. So in Sydney, where I'm from, that's like Marrickville is the place I buy meat, and I usually go in and buy from the Vietnamese there. And you go in and tell them what you want, they're going to sort you out, right? And they're happy to customize. They get that you're probably cooking a particular dish. So, you know, do your research and then find a good butcher. That's all I can really suggest there. Dwayne Woolley writes, "Astig ka talaga, pre." So shout out then to Dwayne. So apparently Dwayne is another YouTuber sa Australia na may asawang Pinay. So he's also making yung mga vlogs sa tukol sa mga daily life in the Philippines kind of content on his channel. So maybe go and check that out. You can compare like kung sino yung pinaka-funny, kung sino yung pinaka-guapo. You can check na lang sa his YouTube channel. If he's better looking, don't tell me. Next question says, "Hi Sir Chris, I'm a fan of your YouTube channel. I'm from Bicol. I'd like you to try cooking my favorite Bicolano food, the ginataang santol. Please try it and you will love it. I can tell you the recipe and how to cook it." Okay, so sure, we might actually look to do that. I haven't cooked it yet on the show, so when we're doing our next kitchen studio time, we might look at doing some ginataang santol. Obviously, you guys know I'm a big fan of Bicol food. Roval Laurel writes, "Parang ang shrep ni Chris." So he spelled it S-H-E-R-E-P. So parang slang yung parang ang shrep ni Chris. And then he gives 4 smiley faces. So I appreciate the comment, Rovel. Okay, Jojo Tagwidin writes, "Hi, do you press your own gata or do you buy pressed gata from the palengke? Also, there are several brands of coconut milk in the market. Can you make a video on that soon? Salamat sa pag-feature mo ng pagkaing Pinoy." So Jojo, no, I don't press my own milk like in my own house. Like having that pneumatic press sa bahay, mahirap yun. But yes, I do sometimes buy sa palengke yung pinakagusto ko ng totoong nanyog, and they like grind it out with that grinding machine, and then they're going to press it. You get the first run, the second run coconut milk, and pinakamasarap yun kaysa sa kung ikumpara sa mga lata, diba? But I do also usually keep a few cans in the pantry because minsan na you just want to make Bicol Express and you don't want to go to the palengke and get it. We can make a video. We're going to be doing some more product review videos, so look out for that, but we'll add that to the list of things that we'll cover. It's a good one. Joseph Tugab Sub writes, hey Kabano Chris, congrats to another awesome video. To you and the crew, I'm an OFW working here in a US naval base in Cuba as a cook, and I want to ask for advice. I cook and bake at the same time, but in kneading dough, they want me to use gloves. Is it recommended to use gloves in kneading or not? Because for me, it's like I don't enjoy making the dough while I'm wearing gloves. Also, is it right to wear gloves when kneading? So that's hard, right? So firstly, like I have to imagine that the concern of the US Navy is that soldiers getting sick, right? And the US is kind of fairly hyper paranoid on hygiene, sanitation when it comes to cooking. So it's a hard control that says the SOP is wear gloves while kneading so that it's impossible for any contamination to spread from something else because somebody either forgot to wash hands or picked up something. So that's really, I think, where they're coming from. Is it fun to knead dough with gloves on? No. I'm making a lot of bread at the moment and I really like the experience of kneading with my hands. It's like a real stress reliever. It feels great. Does the dough like take shape? I hear you. I don't like to wear gloves while kneading, but if that's their requirement and that's your job, you probably gotta do it, unfortunately. 𝗪𝗵𝗶𝗀 writes, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you too, Kabano. Thank you for the comment. Shout out to you. And then our last comment today comes from 𝗪𝗵𝗿𝗶𝗀, who writes, parang nababading na ako sa'yo, Chris, ha? By the way, paborito ko yan ginataang gulay, lalo na yung kalabasa. Thanks. So that was our ginataang gulay recipe. Super sarap, super healthy, and obviously the recipe's here. Or you can go to 𝗵𝗿𝗀𝗀cooking.com and get the recipe there, along with every recipe we've ever put up from the show is all available there if you like to browse on a website and see all of the quantifications of the recipes. Or you can watch the playlist. Go to YouTube and look for the 𝗵𝗿𝗀cooking recipes playlist, and every recipe we've done is there. So that's it for this week, mga kabano. Thanks for all of the questions and comments. Hope you enjoyed the answers and the shout outs to all of you. I appreciate the support. Keep leaving your comments on the channel as often as you want, and you might find yourself featured on one of my Sunday Q&A vlogs about Filipino cooking. Ako po si Chris Urbano, live sa Makati City, and I'll see you guys all next week.